This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's get started. Okay. So that went well. And last time I asked you to do some homework, right? Missing pieces wherever there are. Did anybody do it? Okay. So that's still your homework. Okay. So last time I shown you how to take screenshots and everything. So let's see if screenshots are formed or not. Yeah, screenshots are formed. Okay, but these screenshots are last time screenshots only, right? So for now, we'll have to delete. Captions is also dated last times. Should have taken. Okay, so what I will do is, so just to get clear these, we need to delete old files, folder can be there. Selenium logs is a static folder and screenshots is a folder, and we can delete these and clear these files. Hopefully captions are cleared actually. So the last timestamp is today's 2012 8/12 March 14. So property utils automatically takes care of it, because if it finds the same uh, key or property, it overwrites its value. Okay, so caption 1 0 1 2 3 all the way till 14, it will be new values because I can figure it out from here. So this is taken care, and let's see how this is taken care. from property utils, right? So how do we know property utils? So let's go from the test case. That way you can easily understand. Okay, so let me take you to the validation confirmation page itself and go to any reporting utils start report result. So we put a final reporting utils, right? So we discussed about this. We can put this dynamically, but yeah, here reporting results. In this, I'm calling property utils and screenshot. Property utils will take care of writing the new captions to the captions.properties, and screenshots will take new screenshots, but we didn't clear, so we'll clear it. So how these property utils are written, automatically they replace, so that's intrinsic part of the properties itself, so we don't need to explicitly. So it first checks for the path, and if file path not found, I can throw exception, but we don't need to, okay, because file path is all automatically hard coded in constants. Okay, so if you want, we can put this file not found exception to be thrown, I mean to be printed. Okay, you don't need to throw it. Okay, so that thing is kept taken care. So now I want to clear these, I mean delete these as soon as the new execution starts. Okay, so the first thing that I am calling in any test case would be which function? Test data pool. Okay, correct. So these are all just instantiations and variable declarations and assignments, that's all. But the first function I'm calling is, that's a constructor I'm calling is test data pool. So if I put all those prerequisites inside it, we can later move on to something else. Automatically they will get executed, right? So let's put it in here. Okay, so first let me explain what I did. First I want the test case name. So test case name can be found out from thread.currentThread. This will give you a whole stack, and this will actually have project name dot the actual package name, source dot actual class name. So when I print it, test case details complete test case name, it would be printed like this. Test case details complete test case name test dot. So test dot is a package name which is a part of the test case, and this is a test case name. So whatever test case you're running, you can easily figure out from this. Okay, or you can also use it somewhere. So there are many applications for this. So the thread dot current thread will give you whole stack. All right, so that's a whole stack, project name, source, and coming down to this test case. Okay, so now package name, class name, that's fine. And I also did TC data. So this is the next step, right? Next step to get test case details, test data pool details, all the data, and put it in a TC data, and we know how we use this. And another update I did was, so another update I did in constants. So many people are complaining that their project test case when they run are not working, right? So some are getting some other exception, because I know they are putting this in different folder. So normally it's not necessary to put this project in C, Git, CI. Even I change it. I'll explain about Git project in a moment. So I was putting this in C automation projects, then automation tutorial, right? I changed it. So if you frequently change, or if you even without knowingly or unknowingly if you change, the project won't work. The test case path changes, because constants paths obviously vary. So for that matter, wherever that this project remains, irrespective of the project, the paths, I want the paths to be working. So dynamically I took the working directory. Working directory means wherever the project exists, doesn't matter now. So how do we get this? Using the system.get property, just like system.set property for driver.webdriver.chrome driver, right? So similar way I can use the get property function and get the property name is user.directory, user.dar, and this will return me the whole this thing, whatever this is. C automation projects, test automation, whatever this project name is, it will give you, including the path from C drive or D drive, it doesn't matter. Now for the data pool path, I just have to append to it. So how long it will give? So let me show you again. Working directory, which is having the path value of system.get property, will exactly give you in this particular instance this whole value. Okay, so C is a drive name and Git is a folder name, and automation tutorial is my project name. So automation project name and including its predecessor until its path. Okay, or in other words, from the drive till project name, including project name. So the whole path will be given by system.set property user.dar. Okay, now if I append, if this is a prefix, if I append to this variable, let's say data pool path. So data pool path, where is the data pool path? In resources data pool.xls. Okay, resources exist where? Resources is a part of this one, correct? Automation tutorial, not source. It is directly, if I collapse it, you can see resource, that means it is direct part of all this vertical line is a direct part of the project automation tutorial. Okay, so data pool path I converted as working directory plus resource slash data pool.xls. Initially it was this, you can easily find, compare the difference. Initially it was hard coded like this, right? C automation projects, and I changed this folder name to git because I wanted to put in a git, it automatically took it. That's a different story. Okay, so irrespective of wherever you put your project, it will always work. So just take this update. I hope you have already done that, and all others I have changed it accordingly. For example, test data pool path. What is the test data pool? Test data pool we created recently, right? This one, test data pool, where we can store the output data temporarily so that we can use this output data in another part of page in the execution itself. So again, so to store this test data pool, again I used a working directory which is dynamic path. To this I added the resource and the file name and the extension. So similar to all of this. Okay, so just take this update, and you don't have to change the Chrome driver path because you don't have to keep this as a part of project because it's a exe file and it's nothing to do with our Java files. It's not related to project at all. It can sit in some other location, see there, so that's fine. Okay, so that's everybody clear on this working directory. This will resolve your issue with project not working or test case not running. Okay, so take this, and the next thing is, okay, so we wanted to clear these, right? So clear these screenshots. The captions part is automatically clear, it will overwrite. We can also clear, but I'll show you. Clear function is there. So let's clear the screenshots, and for that I created file system utils. File system utils are the utilities which deal with files, folders, all the file related things. Okay, so let me go briefly over it. It's again a utility, no worries if you don't understand 100%. Okay, now how to create a folder. So for example, folder does not exist. Let's say you did not create the folder. See Selenium log screenshots. Now you don't need to create because if folder doesn't exist, it will create one. That's how we have written the code. And to create a folder in cases, you need to create a folder somewhere. Let's say programmatically, same thing. File, create a file instance, and pass the folder path. And if folder does not exist already, then only mkdir. Okay, so this will create the folder, otherwise there is no need. So that's it, that's the only function. And create file, we can also create file programmatically. Okay, and for that I would use file. File actually deals with folder and file. In Java, file means both folder and file, because file, if folder, you just mention the folder slash folder, right? For file you also mention slash folder slash file name slash dot extension. So both are one and the same in Java terminology. So if you mention file name, that would become file. If you don't mention the file name, that would be a folder. Okay, so I would pass, in this case I segregated the full path into three things: folder path, file name, and extension. Basically folder path slash file name dot extension will give you full path. So I segregated and append it to each of these and pass this file path to file in file instance, and file, actually this is file is constructor. So when I instantiate, this constructor takes one argument which is a parameterized argument, so that's why I'm passing. It accepts one argument, I'm passing this path. And if my file dot create new file, then create file is successful, otherwise create file failure. So mostly it should be successful. And in case there is an exception, I just threw IO exception. You can throw it explicitly. I didn't throw it, so you can just print it to the console that the create folder is failed. Mostly it will fail because the file already exists. Otherwise you can even mention the wrong extension, it will still create one. Create file with content is not required. I'll just skip this. Delete files with extension, this is what we need. So I initially, before executing the new test case or the same test case next time, I just want to delete the old files. Okay, so we can use this delete files. So this will also work on the same lines, using file, what directory these files exist, and what is the extension. Okay, the reason I also took extension as parameter is I don't want to delete these captions.properties. Let this be, I only want to delete PNG or JPG. Okay, so we fixed on this in the screenshot utils, either JPG or PNG. So I know, that's why I am passing this as parameter, whatever the extension is. And if I put it in a list, okay, array. Okay, so this is array, file array, because in the folder a certain type of extension files may be more than one, so I put all of them in the array of files. And how to iterate an array of files, this is the thing. Okay, just like for integer I is equal to 0, I less than equal to x dot length I plus plus, it is like varying over all the elements like a b c d f, whatever there in the array, you can do this. So this is f file instance and f list array, all the values or all the files that are in the array. So it will run one after another till the end. So this is one syntax, so you can easily find this from for. So let me show it to you. Okay, so this is the usual for syntax we use, right? And this is the same thing. So this is iterate over collection, and this is for this thing. What is that? Array. Okay, so the same thing I'm showing for file f list. Okay, same thing. Since it already knows what array I'm having, it automatically shows the same thing. So that is how you vary over files. That's the syntax. Instead of using the old syntax we can use. Okay, anyways, now I'll get all the file names that has the extension png. Okay, ends with. Okay, extension is nothing but, my logic is whatever ends with this, that's it. If it is jpg that ends with jpg, it will give me all those names of files. And simply f.delete is a function available in file, and simply delete will delete one by one after another, starting from 000 1 2 3 4 all the way till last. Okay, so then I print all files in directory, delete. And we can also delete files that contain something. So screenshot is the name, is contained, so that is another way. So that's another way of doing it. File matching, same thing. Delete files will also do the same thing, but this will delete all the files, so I don't want to delete. And rename also we can do. So file rename, moving file from this folder to the other folder, we can do the same thing. From source, from some X folder to Y folder, source to destination. Okay, so these are all functions. Delete files again repeated, don't worry. So just play with them if on the need basis again. So there is no, that's why I mentioned whatever you want to do with the files and folders. Okay, so for the time being, we will use delete files with extension. This is the most effective and working function. So I want to use in prerequisites, but for the time being, I want to call this in wherever the first function that is called. So the first function that test case calls is, because I want these to be deleted as soon as the test case execution starts, not even before, not even after launching the URL. Okay, before launching the URL. So the best bet is the test data pool. That is the first call if you observe here. Okay, so I am putting it here somewhere. You can offer that thread as stack. Okay, somewhere here I can put package name is determined, and then let's delete here, deleting the old screenshots, old execution. Okay, so now how do we call, what function we need to call? Tell me, where is this? You need to understand what to call, that's all. Okay, so what did I explain just now? What do you want to call? Anybody tell me just now if you remember.
File system utils.
Correct. So it's right here, file system utils. So let's choose file system utils right here. It belongs to the utils package. That's how we choose. And it should be static. That's why I created all 99% of the function static because of this convenience. And the one I want to use is delete files with extensions. So you can use these to play with, but this is most effective. And directory. Now, how do you want to pass a directory? This is very important because this is how you have to think in order to use utils. Otherwise, you don't know what's inside, right? You just on the go, you try to call this and play with it. Okay. What is the directory? The directory paths must be in the constants, right? So let's check the
Yeah,
constants
constant.
because all of the paths must be in constants. So okay. So where is it? Screenshot folder path. So this should be it. Okay, so now if you have doubt, let's check screenshot folder path is the one or not, just to be safe side. Yes, see Selenium log screenshots. This is nothing to do with the project. Okay, this is kept separate from the project. Okay, so the reason is, if you keep these screenshots as part of the project, let's say just like resource, if I create another folder called screenshot and store screenshots and store all this, what would happen is it would become very difficult to share these. If I mean, either in right now we are using Gmail, but normally if you use Git or Subversion, the configuration management tools or version controlling tools, it would be too difficult because of the size, and because these are not really important. These are just temporary for that particular iteration, the execution screenshots. If you run it again, they will change, so you don't need to share. So that's why I put it out of the project, including drivers. All those jobs must be outside. So and one more reason is the size. These size will be in kbs. If you keep these and jars, it will be in mbs, so it will be very difficult. So that is another reason. Okay, anyways, let's come back to this. Okay, extension with dot. Okay, so because I want to put dot also, because I used ends with, file name ends with, right? You can use png, but you don't know, maybe the other file may also be ending with png. So to be exactly sure, I'll put The extension means .png that ends with .png is the extension with png, simple as it. So .png. Again, if you change this to JPEG, you have to change it here again. So if you want to just make it as a variable, just make it as a variable extension, string extension and png. So that way you don't have to change in multiple places, just one place will do. So png is better. Okay. Now let's run and see automatically will it delete and store our new screenshots on this date 3/14. Right now it is 3/12. It is updated, but these are not updated. So let's see. Okay, so automatically they got deleted. So once they deleted, automatically it will screenshot mechanism, the robot mechanism will store the new screenshots. Otherwise, it won't won't even replace, because replace again it will occur. It will cause a pop-up to occur. Remember, if you do it manually, so it will, or make a copy of it. I don't know. Yeah. So these things won't be done automatically. So that's why it didn't even save it. So right now we are, first thing that we did is deleting the old file. So we did this thing. So even I wrote simple caption, not caption, console comment that all files in this folder was deleted. So that's it. Okay. Now let's see some more utility based enhancements. The testing portion is done, so remaining is up to you. How do you want to put like more validation points, like is give the homework last time, correct those validations? That's it, simple things. Now that is your, I mean, uh, job to find out those. That will give you hands-on. That is why I left those for you. Not if I do it myself, you don't even practice. Okay. Now keyboard utils are related to same thing. If you I will show you in the next project. If we do not like, if you get a pop-up like let's say you are trying to upload something, then automatically you have to enter some path in the this thing, whatever the dialog box that opens. So in that case, we'll have to use keyboard details, because the Windows dialog would not have any XPath, right? XPath is only for whatever is displayed on the page. Now suddenly Windows box open, like for example, if you click here some upload and it opens some pop-up, just imagine, okay? Then you have to deal with that. You have to interact or do some operation like typing. So in that cases, these keyboard utils, like it will exactly type like a robot would do. Okay. So I'll show you this when that scenario occurs. Okay. So password details, I'll show you. The password details and base64 utils are interrelated. Okay. So password details, in password details that I created, I use the base64, which is a common algorithm. Okay. What is algorithm? It is to tell like how do you want to encrypt. For example, how do you say this? You want to convert A to something else. Let's say XYZ123 underscore. Okay. And B to ABC 21256. Okay. The algorithm that tells how do you convert, like what do you put in place of original character, what else do you put? So that coding is nothing but algorithm. Okay. So what is the purpose of it? To hide the actual data. Okay. So now how do you retrieve back the whatever your original string is? To decrypt it. So okay, these two things I did it in password details. Okay. So let me just explain you, and we will see in action how these two things works. And the main reason we are using in automation is to, anybody knows why we want these utils? Okay, if you don't know why you are doing this, there is no purpose, right? So you have to have some purpose. So the purpose is, for example, you are sharing your password key, right? I don't want to do this. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to put the encrypted thing. So like blah blah blah. Okay. Then nobody knows it, and then I can decrypt it, and that's it. So first I encrypt it and decrypt it. Okay. So that's the purpose. Let's see. Everybody got that? Okay. So first encryption, like I said, I'm simply using the algorithm cipher. Okay. So and first whatever I pass is the data. So data is in the string. It could be anything, alphanumeric, special characters, combination of any of these. And simply I'm calling the base64. Okay, base64 is sitting in here. Okay, so this is out of the box code, open source, and using this I'm just calling encode bytes. Okay, why bytes? Because ultimately everything is in the byte format, right? So if it is ABC 1 2 3 4, whatever it is, ultimately it is a bytes, and bytes is nothing but a 8 bits. What is a bit? Bit is a nothing but either 1 or 0. Okay, binary. Okay, so ultimately, so in that byte level we are encoding. So once it's encoding using what? Encoding using algorithm. Okay, so the algorithm is mentioned in base64. So if you want, you can read it. This is all available. I don't know, somewhere here in code. So some algorithm. Yep, right here. Okay. So first I take whatever I'm entering, including capital letters, small letters, numbers, all the special characters. That means all the character that you can type using a keyboard. Take this and define how do you convert it using the algorithm. So standard alphabets and everything. Don't worry, even if you do not understand a bit of this, don't worry, you just need to use. All I'm using is the encode bytes function. Okay. So finally, whatever is encoded using the algorithm, it gives me back that string, the modified string, and I'm simply returning the modified string. Okay. So return the encrypted value. So exactly just one line, base64.encode bytes, and pass the encoded value and return the encrypted value. Okay. So what if I want to retrieve this value? So decrypts the encrypted string and returns the decrypted value. So because that's what is needed when you actually want to enter the original value, right? Otherwise it won't work, right? So in that case, simply I'm using decode function from the base64 and pass this encrypted. I'm passing the encrypted data and it will give me the decrypted data using the same algorithm. So if you don't use the same algorithm, it won't know. Simple as that. So same cipher language, using cipher language will decipher. Okay. Okay, so that's all we need to know about this. Now let's do some R&D on this. So I'll use a playground because this is nothing to do with whatever we're working on, but we will apply this. Okay, so first let me play in the playground. So I'll leave all this behind and start from the beginning. Yeah. Okay, so simply saying I want to use this utils. Again, the same thing. How do we call the encrypt string? Password utils. Okay. Dot, there are only two functions, encrypt, decrypt, simplicity purposes. Okay, now I want to pass, tell me some name you want to decrypt. Okay, let me type my name, Sangam. So this will encrypt the string. I guess I had to add throws declaration or surrounding try catch because it will throw exception. So now let's see if we can print this to the console. Already printing is there. Yeah, encrypted string I'm printing to the console. Encrypted string for this data, original data is this one. Okay, just for the debugging purpose. In original automation we should not print it, otherwise no. Okay, so if I run this, okay, so it must have run. Yes. So the encrypted string for Sangam is this one. So like I said, it would be totally in ununderstandable language. So you don't know what is yes, what is actually the characters for S and what is for what. So it is totally undecipherable. So it would look like this. Now if I want to see actually this mechanism is working, the algorithm is working, the only way to see is how do we make sure if this is the correct encrypted string. How to make sure, I mean my code is working or not, how to make sure this, using the decrypt string. So let's call this decrypt string and pass the encrypted value. So this is my encrypted value. So just be careful, do not copy spaces. The spaces are intentionally put. Okay, that's what I do. Space equals space, and these equal signs are the part of the encrypted string. So let's, all right. So now, okay, again this throws. So add throws declaration again. Throws exception will do because that will cover everything. Okay, so now let's see if I am sysing out to the console. Yes, again you don't have to do this sys out console because in real time you just comment it out or delete it. So otherwise others can see in the console, logs can be read later, it will be stored, right? So now let's see if it works. Okay, so perfectly working. So whatever is encrypted, I decrypted again the same string and it returns me back this. Okay, this equals is my own. Okay, this equals space equals space. Okay, now let's apply this to here. Now what is the password you want to enter here? Yes, let me open source. Okay, one more thing, some people said they do not have the Excel, right, Microsoft Office. So for that I actually installed Open Office for you. Okay, so this would look like this. Let me open the data pool with that, so it will still work. So for those who cannot use this Excel, can use Open Office. Okay, so this is a like Word document, this is a spreadsheet like Excel, this is a PPT, and this is a drawing database also. You can create formula, you can create just like in Microsoft Office. Okay, so let's open spreadsheet. So it will work the exactly same way. You can type whatever you want to type here, and you can change the sheet name. Okay, so now let's try to open that whatever we have created here. Okay, so I just opened the same thing with open office, so you can do this. Okay, now our job is to change this in such a way that we only pass the encrypted string. Okay, so let's use auto pass. This can be anything, auto pass 123. So let's try to encrypt this. I'm cutting this and pasting it here. Okay, you can also add 1 2 3 4 5, doesn't matter, whatever you register with, it will use the same name. In this case it's easy, but you can use it for other purposes also. Okay, run playground. Okay, so what is the encrypted string? This guy. So what I would do is I'll take this and I can put it, because when this is shared in any of the projects, because this project is a part of the project, right, and everybody can see it, even if you share using Google Drive or Gmail or Git, so this is visible. So now what happens is, even if you put encrypted string, it doesn't matter, because nobody knows what the algorithm is. So now you save it. Okay, so now I close it, just like so. I showed you how to use the Microsoft instead of Office, how to use the Open Office. Okay, that is over, just one time. Okay, so now you're going to tell me, let's not decrypt it because it's not really required, right? So let's comment it or delete it, because we already tested, right? That is just one time only, testing purpose. Okay, so now you tell me, how do I use this? How do I use the encrypted string? I want to use, this is already entered in data pool. Now if I enter this in data pool, it will still work, but I want to decrypt it. Now wherever I enter this, I want to decrypt it before passing. So where can I decrypt it and where to pass? Where is that we are entering this? Which class we are entering this? Anybody remember?
Register phase. Register phase.
Which one? Register page. Yep, I
Yeah.
think that's it. Register page is the one where you are entering. If you also use login, let's say if you create login page, use the same whatever you register with the credentials. Okay, so that is your homework also. This is a login page also, right? We didn't. We directly registered and went ahead with flight booking. Okay, so for this, here we are passing while the register. Okay, now if I take this from directly from data pool, it would enter all those, right? So directly it will take the encrypted string as is, whatever that was. Now we have to decrypt it before get. Now how do we do this here? Same thing for this side also, both. Okay, so we have to do something before this. What would that be? Just the way I did it before in playground. So what should we do?
Yeah, you have to call those functions.
Yeah, so what is the function that we need to
Yeah.
call? Decrypt.
So first what utils
Right. Dot. Which one? Which is the function?
encrypt. Oh, first is the
Which one?
encrypt or decrypt. And I think is descriptive string. The first one,
Only
right?
tell me only one. Don't get confused. Encrypt or decrypt or both.
No, decrypt because you already put the encrypt one.
Correct. Yes. Decrypt, not encrypt, because already encrypted. One time encrypted
Yeah.
and put it in double. We don't need to encrypt again. So now I'm decrypting. So encrypted data must be passed. Now already that is encrypted data is passed in the tc data dot get password, right? So simply I'll
Yes.
get it from the data pool. So I'll take it. Actually cut it. So the whole thing actually. Test data pool dot tc data dot get. So I'm cutting this whole thing and putting it here. Okay, so this would actually give the correct value, whatever is that. Now let's store this in a local variable called string. Okay, so now let's pass this to the field. Same thing to the other field also. So the same mechanism can be used in any complex situations also. Simple to complex. This is a simple scenario, but complex scenarios also can be used with these. Okay, so now you know how to use another utils, which which is password utils. And so far we have seen all of this. Okay, base 64, Excel, base 64 and password utils are both are same. So don't worry. This has to be there. Otherwise it won't find. I could have made it a jar, but instead of me jar, I just put it as Java file. So these two are the same thing. Excel utils are used for reading the Excel for data vault. So that's fine. File system utils are used for creating files, deleting folders, and different creating files with extension and creating folders, deleting files with extension. All these things can be done using this. I'll come back to this now. And property utils are used for reading the property file or writing to the property file. Two things only. So that reporting utils are done for reporting, taking screenshot, writing the captions file, and screenshot utils is separate. It will take the screenshot. I already showed you, but it will be called in the reporting. So this is a part of reporting. So the same thing, if anybody asks you in the interview, you can say the same thing. This mechanism you can use it to take the screenshots. Okay, it's already working function. Screenshot, and all you have to pass is folder path and the counter. Okay, so I created many methods, one of which is I just ran it again. Screenshot details. Okay, so let's see if I want to see all the list of all the functions. Okay, there is only one function actually. So this will run. This will use robot class. Okay, robot class is capable of just taking the screenshot, just using keyboard. On the keyboard there is a print screen function. So just use this. All I'm doing is just take it repeatedly and append this naming. Naming is done with 000 and string dot value of counter. So counter is starting from 0 itself. So and create capture screenshot will actually click the button and capture it using the robot has all those methods. And then if directory does not exist, make directory. So you can actually test it if you where is it? So this, let's say this folder does not exist, it will automatically create it. So let's see if it actually creates it. So directory exists. So let me delete it, Selenium logs, and see if it creates. But this won't occur, at least first time if you miss it, but once you create it, it will be there, so you don't need to worry about it. Okay, so deleted. Now that folder is deleted. Let's see if directory does not exist. This is a negation. Then make directory. So what is directory? Whatever is the directory I'm passing. What directory? Folder path, that is in my control, right? Folder path is already set from the constants. So let's try this again. Okay, so that said, all of the utils are covered except for keyboard utils. I'll explain in a minute. Okay, so let's run our test case. Yeah, go ahead. Your question, if you have any question. Okay, so this actually doesn't work. Okay, so it is not creating the directory. So just be careful. So that part is, oh, wait a second. Let it complete. It threw the exception. Maybe it created the folder, but still threw the exception. So we can correct it. So this won't block the automation. I mean, it will still continue. Screen. Okay, let's check. I saw first thing it threw is exception, delete folders. Okay. The thing is, if the folder does not exist, right, it couldn't delete the folders. That is the first call. However, it created. Okay, so it created the folders. That part worked. So again, so the first thing we are doing in the test case is deleting these files, right? So first time this was not there. So we can actually create this for the first time itself. So that way it won't throw the exception. So exception is thrown, but it still works. So anyway, if you run next time, it won't fail because already a folder is created. So that it will delete these files. Okay, so just to show you this keyboard utils. All right. So like I was explaining last time, if you want to interact with non-web based application like Windows application, pop-up or something, so we can use this, mostly useful in this. So I'll just explain one. It's a repetition of same thing. So zoom in, zoom out can be done using the driver itself, so don't worry. I just created those. Scroll lock, we can use this actually for some instances. We need to take 2 screenshots in one page, right? Because of the bigger page. Then key scroll. So normally what would do using the robot, I'll just create the robot instance first. Robot R is equal to new robot. Then using robot, I need to perform 2 operations for each single click, because click is nothing but a press and release combination of press and release, press followed by release. That would be called a click actually on the keyboard. So there is a key event, okay, which is for key press and key release, both will take key event as argument. Okay, this is the integer actually. Okay, now key event has different uh, these variables which are called virtual keys. VK stands for virtual key, VK underscore. So VK underscore scroll lock. So VK underscore and name, that will represent the key name. So let's see. So if I want to press one A, let's say, so VK underscore, okay, 0. I can press 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and all these buttons: add, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those numbers, and begin, cancel, clear, caps lock. You can control virtually everything. Cut, copy, paste, then followed by function keys. Okay, and A, B, C, D, F, G, H, R, I, J, K. All these are also there, including capital, small, everything that you can do manually. Whatever the numbers are there in number pad, you can control. Okay, until Z. Okay, so all you have to do is just pass virtual key and VK underscore that particular name. So in this case, I want to simply press scroll key, let's say. So I'll just see there are any scroll. Okay, not the scroll log, but the scroll key. SCRO, all caps, scroll log. Okay, scroll log. Key release, same thing, because the combination would make it actually complete the click whole thing. So if I want to pause is not really required. Sometimes, some cases I need to take a tab, but in this case we don't need. So that was very rare cases we would use. Okay, so most of them are repeated, and tabs, enter, key left, key home. If I want to press home, key end. Okay, I created separate functions for this. So all I need to call is, if I want to go till the end of the page, just call this function key end. And how many times I need to press, I just also looped in using the for loop. So mostly I would, okay, so this is the main mechanism. If I want to type a character, I mean string, I would use this. So if I want to type A, just type virtual key A. Do type is separately defined using key press and key release. Okay, so this is a comprehensive. So let me show you quickly. This is the main method I would use. For example, if I want to type something in the pop-up, I would just type string irrespective of the XPath, because XPath is not there for a non-web. Only if in the web-based, if I want to type here, let's say there is a text box, I can type it because I can locate it uniquely using the XPath. But that would not be the case in here, right? Whatever is shown. So for that we need to use a robot. There is no other choice. So let's see this in action in playground. So I'll start from here. Okay, so again everything is static. I will just use the class name itself, keyboard details dot. Let's say I want to type string. Okay, type string is a combination of everything, whatever I want to type. So let's say this is automation class. Okay, I just want to type string. Now where do you want to type string? So let's open any non-browser based applications. Okay, so let's use Notepad for example. Okay, I'm just showing for the example. Whatever is open, for example, it opens a pop-up, browse button, browse pop-up, or browse dialog. You can also type it. All you have to take is the control to that file location, right? So that you can achieve by taking the tab also. There is no mouse interaction. All you have to do is just keyboard functions. Okay. Now I'll keep this open once I run it and see if it types in there. So again, this is a non-Selenium based. It's directly controlled by what? Robot. Okay. Okay. So this is so quick. It has to be open, and it did. Okay. So that is the main utility. Now, if you want to type anything, you can do it. For example, the type string covers everything. So if you want to type, let's say keyboard utils dot. I want to type. What do you want to type? I want to take a tab, key underscore tab. Okay, there is a key underscore tab. Let's see what is the function. Key underscore tab. Okay, so I did not make it static. Let's key underscore tab. Okay, so first I want to type key underscore tab, then type something and type enter also. Let's say let's take enter, so we can also achieve that. Dot enter key n. Okay. Okay, so if I want to make a function, I can make a function. Let's say there is no enter. Simply I will create a function. Escape is there. Escape colon whatever you want to use. You can use. So let's create one for enter. So this is for pressing enter. Enter on the keyboard. Okay, so let's call it public static void key underscore enter. And you don't have to pass any arguments. And all I need to do is just okay, already there is one. Oh, there is already one. Okay, so let's search it. That's what I see. Okay, there we go. Okay, all I needed to make this is static. Okay, same thing. VK underscore enter, key press and key release VK underscore enter. So let's try these three things in action. Okay. Okay, so it took a tab first and then typed and took a enter. So it exactly works. Whatever you can do it keyboard, you can do it with robot. Okay, so that's all about utils. There are more utils, but these are all for the time being. Now let's share these in Git.
And
Okay, quickly I'll show you. Yeah, go ahead.
for attachment, we can use the keyboard util, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the question again?
For attachment, there is some application API attach the file.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, attachment, right? Exactly. That will be useful in attachment. For example, if you want to attach some file, right? When you click some link, I don't see the link here, but if you find the right page, click link. I'll show you that example. Don't worry. Okay. So with
Okay.
all this, if I click a link, imagine if I this link, if I click on it, it will open some pop-up where you have to attach, like Gmail attachment. Then in that it will ask you to enter the file path. So in that case, what you have to use is this thing, keyboard utils type string, and pass the total file path. So I'll show you this. Like file path will be C drive and your directory, where your directory is in file dot extension, right? So you have to mention, and it will type and just enter. So then enter, it will upload whatever you want to do with the file. So that is the whole thing. Again, this here to escape. Okay. So now I actually made it a part of GitHub. So let me show you. I'll just add new files. Okay. So when I say when you see the star mark, okay, that means there are updates because I changed something in the code. Register page, I changed something. Keyboard utils, I changed something. Property utils, I changed something. Even data pool, XLS, I changed something, right? In the playground, I changed something today. That means these updates are ready to be pushed. When you see this database symbol, this yellow color, that means it is in sync with the repository, the remote repository, which is in Git. Okay, so there is no change. That means everything is updated. This yellow color means updated. This means there are updates. Okay, now I will push it to the Git. Okay, so if you right click, there is a team. Okay, and when I create new files, I have to add them to the this thing. I have to add those files. Right now I don't have any new files, so it's fine. And commit this. Okay, so now I want to push these new updates, right? These are the new updates: data pool, keyboard utils, playground, whatever this is. So now before pushing or committing, it will ask you to enter the commit message to show. So what did we work on today? We worked on automation framework, and what in framework we discussed today? We discussed about utils, right? Password utils and keyboard utils. And what else? Property utils. Okay, so okay, let's not use the word utils every time because it will be too lengthy. Password, keyboard, property. So this is my commit message. So then commit and push. We'll push it. Okay, so now this is the Git repository. Okay, so I'll share this with you. So from today onwards, we will only share the project via GitHub, not via Gmail. That is the old way. Okay, so I'll share this with you guys. And explain. So that is a GitHub repository. Okay, so now let's see if the updates we push is actually done or not. So let me open. This is a project Git. Okay, so this is the same thing I push. Okay, so whatever I committed just now, they are part of it. Automation framework password. So far I made 12 commits. I mean, last couple days I did not show you. So if you go inside, whatever is the latest code that you can find easily in source folder, let's say there is a test, there are test cases, you can even open and view. All right. So everything that you see in Eclipse or zip file that we share is already present. For example, if you want to see the utils that we worked on today, right? Yeah, so utils are already there. Let's say password utils.
Hello.
And yeah, go on. And the resource data pool is also there.
Who was the process you doing there in a GitHub? Because once you create the account, then what's the process?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I will first explain this basic. How would I contribute? You can actually you will get this. Okay, so I'll also share it in this thing, what do you call, the email, but for the timing I'll just text you so that you can just see how it looks like. Oh, okay. So here, chat window. Okay, so that's the repository. I just texted everyone. So if you open, it will open something like this. Okay. Now what you're going to do, you first register for the Git. Okay. What you have to do is, once you open it, you cannot fork it, because unless and until you register for Git. So for the first time, what you have to do is, I'll sign out and show you. Okay, it is taking time. Okay, first I'll explain in Notepad. Okay, so this is the repository. This is the repository. All right. This one. This is the old repository actually. So, okay. So first, all you have to do is create account in GitHub. So go to this github.com. Okay. So first things first, you need to go to github.com and sign up. So mention your email here, whatever your email is, and enter a username, password, then sign up. That's it. This is just a quick process, 1 minute. Okay. Once you do it, go to this repository, whatever I gave you. Okay. So this repository, github.com/sangam. So let me sign in, because I am already signed up. So there is no need for me to sign in. I have 2 accounts. Okay. So now let's say, okay, actually let me log in with other. Okay, so once you sign up, did everybody sign up now? Can you sign up? And let me know if you're signed up. Yes or no?
All the later.
Okay, just sign up. It will take a minute. That's all. Okay. So now I'm logged in as a separate user. Okay. I am showing it as how would you do it. Okay. So now I take this repository. All right. Oh, I mentioned the repository twice. Okay. So open it here. You can also click the link. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now I come here. Right. Now I want to see, make contributions. Like for example, I give you homework. You can also contribute your code directly to this. So that will create a branch. This is a main branch. Okay, master branch also known as. Then once you update, you will create branches, more branches. So you will be shown as contributors, individual contributors here. So for that, click on this fork. Okay, so it will be forking. So that's what it says. All right, now it is forked, one fork. So if 10 people fork, it will show 10 number here. Okay, now how do you get this? Normally what you're doing when I share this project in Gmail, you're downloading the attachment and unzipping and importing, right? That's what you're doing, unzipping and importing here. Okay, so instead what you do is you clone it, clone or download. See, it is the same thing. You can clone it here. Okay, download zip. So this will also download same thing that you that is being shared by me so far. Okay, so one thing is, you can as usual unzip it and put the latest code in here. I mean, you can copy paste, or you can even import it from the scratch as if you do from the beginning. So same thing, but instead of sharing via Google Drive or Google Gmail, we are sharing via GitHub, which is the most effective way, because I can directly push whatever the latest updates is directly to the GitHub. So you can clone, download. Okay. One more thing is you can clone using commands also. Okay. So how do you do it? So the process I explained is documented right over here. Fork it so you don't have to affect the master with changes. So this will actually creates your own branch to do your contribute your homework code. Okay, so that is the main purpose. Okay, so clone or download, I showed you. Clone your fork into your local system, open the zip file and unzip the project and import the project. This you already know. I just cloned and download the zip file, then I unzip it. Okay, import the project into Eclipse. So regular way, I already showed it to you. Import, then import into archive file or extract it existing projects into workspace. That you already know. And student will make some changes, so you can also make some changes, updates. Okay, so then you want to directly push it. Let's say you want to directly push it from your Eclipse. Right now you don't have Eclipse Git integration with Eclipse, right? You don't see this Git, do you? So that is because you don't have the Git right now. So for that I mentioned these updates. So from 8th point onward, take this URL. All right, there are two ways to do this. So one way, I will show you both ways. One is coming, go to help and click on new software, install new software. Okay, this is one way, method number one. Okay, now I already copied that and I am pasting this here. So as soon as you paste this, download eclipse.egit/updates, you will see Git integration for Eclipse. So this is all you need. So select all of this and click next, 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 and finish. Because I already have one, I don't need to. Okay, so this is one way. Don't worry, this is already mentioned. Okay, or let's say you don't have this URL, which you already have it once I share it. So the other way is go to help only, and there is option called Eclipse Marketplace. All right, right beneath the install new software and installation details, there is Eclipse Marketplace. Okay, so this will also do the same thing, integrating Git with Eclipse. So just type Git in the find search and click go. Okay, so now just scroll down a little bit. The first link is not the one. Gone console, egit integration. Yeah, that's it. Egit. This is the same thing. So install it. Egit integration for Eclipse. Okay, this will install. Once you successfully install, what do you see is this. Okay, at least you don't see that, but when you right click, I actually added that menu item. But go to team, right click on the project, go to team. You will see a different kind actually. You won't see this. What you will see is share project. So let me show you. So let's say this is not a part of Git. So when I right click on team, let me disconnect it first. Otherwise you won't see. So team, and you will see share project. So all you have to do is click on share project. This is the first look. Once you share project, then finish. This is where your .git file exists. So .git file will look like this. Okay, so .git folder actually. So it will have its own Git integration files. Don't worry about them. And wherever the original location of your project was, it copies over to this folder. Okay, so that's fine. No worries. And you can set it. If you uncheck it, you can set it, create it, and you can select new folder. That's fine too. So if you want to use the same folder, that's then finish, then it will be integrated. Now if you want to push some updates, you can commit and push. If you want to add new files, you can add to index. So for example, in this, let's say I add, what do you want to add, run, this is just for the demonstration, don't worry, I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to add a new class, okay, in data. Let's call it, what do you want to call it? Base constants. Okay, I don't want to keep it because it already constants is there, just for the demonstration. Okay, so that's a new file. Now how do I add this file? See, whenever you add a new file, it will show question mark. That means this is not part of the repository, GitHub repository. So all you have to do is right click and team and add to index. Okay, right, now once you add, it will show plus sign. That means it can be made part of repository. Now all you have to do is right click on the project and team, then commit. So it will show latest one. What is the only change that is different from the last commit? The base constants, right? New file. Maybe there are updates, there are no. Then you commit message. You can say added base constants, something like this. Then you once commit and push, it will be shown as a part of this repository here. Okay, so the same way, I am not going to commit this because it's not required, just for the demonstration purpose. So let's delete this. Okay, so now everybody clear on this? Now again I will go through this here. Install GitHub using this marketplace or install new software, okay, or marketplace, doesn't matter. So this is a separate actually, or marketplace, same thing. Marketplace, when you go, you just search for git and select egit. Okay, so then how do you add edit new files? I just showed you. Okay, when you add, it will show question mark and you have to add these files using this team, add index, and then finally commit. Okay, so try this and see if it works. And these are from non-command prompt. If you are good with command prompt, install git bash. You can download git bash from Google, and then using this you can set this global user, your email, whatever you email registered with git, and your username, and what you want to clone. So you want to clone this, all right, the .git, and then just add these files using add and then commit, git commit, initial commit, then push origin master. So don't use push origin master because it will push to the main branch. So push to your own branch, and then git status will give you whether it's successfully pushed or not. Okay, that is the overall process. And for this you would need these. So convert existing non-git project to project using team share. Right click on the project and team share project. I mentioned the same thing, whatever I explained right now. So team, you will say team and share here before integrating. So then click on it and push to git and team add index, commit, add commit. You have to add comment before committing, and whatever the downloads you need, these separately I put it, like git bash. You can use this URL and download this git bash. So these are only for command prompt. If you are comfortable with command prompt, you can download this. So I'll probably show you. I mean, personally, I don't feel comfortable using command prompt, so I'll just use the same right click and push it to command. That's what I'm comfortable. So right click, go to team and commit. That's what I use. It's easy. So if you are comfortable with this, you can play with this. The commands are these. Okay. And desktop version, if you want to use desktop version, these are all optional. These are not mandatory. Okay. If you want to use this, go download this desktop version that will look like this. Okay, so you can download this. That will install something like this. It will be non-command prompt, most user friendly. So if you prefer, you can download this. And for help, I collected some links. Most frequently asked questions will be there in here. I mean, if you face any issues or encounter any challenges, you can go and check the answers. So that's all for tonight. I'll share these notes with you. Okay, and let me know if you face any issues with GitHub. The next class will continue with new. I think it's almost done, but I'll show you. Any questions? Okay, I'm sending. Today's project is committed to GitHub. So I already explained using below notes. Set up your Git account and clone the project. Okay, so try this and let me know how it goes. These are all the notes, and Git repository is this one. Okay, I'll just highlight it so that let's make where is the color? Okay, so I just want to make it as a link so that you can directly click. Yeah, so that works. Okay, so sharing, no attachment today. So just try this and let me know. Okay, so once you receive this email, just try and click on this and you will directly jump to the repository, right? Just like this. And you must have already been signed in. Okay, once you sign up, you sign in. So you will have your own account and then fork it. Okay, so you will have your own copy. Once you fork it, you will have your own branch. All right, so that you can do the homework or you can push your own updates. I'll be able to see. That's the easiest thing. And then click and download zip. All right, everybody is with me? You understood this process? This is the same folder, right? This is the same file that you have been getting in Gmail. Same thing. Okay, so Git process is okay. You try it out, then you will feel comfortable with it. All right. Okay, good night.